guys, it's Ashley Acker from EntrepreneurJungle.com, and I am kicking off week 2 of my 6-week information product marketing experiment. Over the next 6 weeks, I'm experimenting with different marketing strategies to get the word out about my new video course map, which you can find at videocoursemap.com. And I'm going to try to make as many sales as possible between now and January 25th. So if you have an information product or a service that you really are focused on for the next 6 to 8 weeks, then opt in below if you haven't already, enter your email address, and anytime I post a video, share a checklist, a cheat sheet, anything that I create over the next 6 to 8 weeks, I'll let you know when it comes out so that you can boost your marketing for your product as well. So today, week 2, I am focused on webinars. Last week we talked about Facebook, which is a little bit more passive, so I wanted to do something really active this week, and webinars are definitely an active marketing strategy. So I wanted to give you a few things to think about. These are things that I'm going to be thinking about over the next week and making decisions about as I put together my sales webinar for the video course map. So the first thing I'm going to think about is whether I'm going to do a live webinar or an evergreen webinar. So a live webinar is one that people register for and attend. It all happens live. You know, this is the case for most webinars. You can also do what's called an evergreen webinar, where it looks live, but it's actually pre-recorded. And anytime people come to the web page, they can sign up for the next available webinar time. And there's technology and software that'll allow you to do this. So you need to decide if you're going to be doing live webinars or evergreen, and I'm actually going to do both. So I'm going to use my live webinar, record it, and then use it as an evergreen webinar in the future. The next thing you need to think about is striking a balance between sales and content, okay? Because people do not want to be sold to. They want to receive valuable content on a webinar. But since we're focused on selling an information product or a service on the back end of our webinar, we need to have a really clear strategy to accomplish both goals. So I'm going to do a little bit of research and find out what that good balance is this week. The other thing I'm going to think about, and you should too, are your promotional materials and your promotional timeline. You know, what I've read, what I've learned from others is that the best time frame for promoting a webinar is about 3 to 4 days beforehand. If you promote too much before that, people are not going to actually show up. So I'm going to kind of outline my promotional timeline and then also figure out the best place to market my webinar, because we've got to make sure that people show up. And I would say that probably 80% of your effort around a webinar should be marketing it, getting people registered, making sure that they actually show up live. And then your other 20% should really be around the content that you're delivering on that webinar. So the promotions are absolutely huge, absolutely critical for webinars as a marketing strategy. Okay, the other thing you probably want to think about is JVs or joint ventures. Will you be doing the webinar alone, or will you be leveraging somebody else's audience, somebody else's list to draw more attendees? So if you have a relationship with somebody that your target market also has a relationship with, perhaps you do a joint venture with them, do a webinar together, and you can draw a larger audience. You know, and this also ties into affiliate promotions. If you have an affiliate program for your product or service, you definitely want to consider joint venture webinars. Okay, I'm also going to kind of do a little bit of research on the best time to hold a webinar. I want to make sure that people show up. So, you know, I've heard that evening webinars have a better attendance rate and also a better conversion rate than something a little bit earlier in the day. But that's going to depend on your target market and when they're available, when they're ready to show up, and when they're in that buying kind of frame of mind. So that's something you want to do some research on this week as well. And also I'm going to look at kind of the best technology. I've used different platforms for webinars in the past, but I'm going to revisit that this week because things change so often. So I'm going to look at what the best solution is for me to actually hold and conduct my webinars. So you do that as well. And then finally, bonuses. And I'm going to look at a few different kinds of bonuses for my webinar. The first one I'm going to look at has to do with actually just signing up for the webinar. I'm gonna come up with some kind of bonus that they get right when they sign up, so that they get some value instantly. They don't have to actually wait for the webinar to happen. And then the other kind of bonus I'm going to look at is a fast action bonus for people that sign up and buy my course either while the webinar is going on or within 24 hours of the webinar ending. I'm going to add some value, add something special for those people as a bonus when they sign up and buy my product. So that's something to think about as well. Where can you add value? Where can you create a little scarcity? There's only so many. There's either a time limit scarcity around that bonus, or there's only so many. The first 3 people that register following the webinar get something extra added to the sale of your product or your service. So think about bonuses as well. So that's my list for this week. Do you have questions about marketing your product or service with a webinar? If so, leave me a comment below, and I'll do my best in my research this week to kind of source information and come up with some answers to your questions. And a few of you have already given me some good things to think about, so I'm going to be analyzing all of that for you this week, reporting back a little bit later in the week. But I look forward to hearing how webinars go for you in regards to your products and services. And stay tuned. Later in the week, I'll have a little bit more for you. So if you haven't already, go ahead and sign up for the 6-week information product marketing experiment and join me as you market your own product and service. Okay, I'll talk to you later this week. Bye.